Don't you just love when everything doesn't work?
No.
Yeah, me too.
Like the one thing I hate most.
And away we go. Alright, volume 9.
Oh god, you're gonna make me do the scouter level.
Yep. Part of you has always been taken with the idea of purchasing a one-way train ticket to anywhere and boarding it without looking back. Or in your current case, stowing away without looking back. Details. The idea has always seemed so idyllic. No strings, no obligations, just you and your journey, the wind in your hair, and the taste of freedom on your lips. Your little daydream didn't exactly involve careening across a perilous extraterrestrial landscape, but you've always liked to think of yourself as the kind of person who's more open to new experiences. Not to mention new friends. In practice, though, this tastes less like freedom and more like noxious muck, which is what you're currently surrounded by. Ugh. It's not unlike the slime that was in Skyla's Recupicune, except that that slime was weirdly soothing. And this is prickly and burny and uncomfortable. You thought you were being smart by sneaking on board, jumping into some sort of cargo carriage. Oh, how you'd been wrong. The trade-off for not being caught, then maimed, and or killed for your blood color is, well, this. You almost would have preferred the maiming. God knows you're used to taking a beating by now. After what feels like way too long, the vehicle slows down and you take the opportunity to tumble out of your slime jail onto the dusty ground, picking yourself up and hurrying away from the station before you get spotted. A little while later, you're standing at the beginning of a massive canyon, and your awful train ride almost feels worth it. The canyon stretches on endlessly, miles of yawning chasms and winding ravines at your feet. It's enough to make your mouth hang open in awe. After spending so much time in various grody parts of the city, the sight of such pristine natural beauty touches your heart. You feel somehow inspired, like you could belt out an era or draw a masterpiece if you tried. But before you can begin exploring your hidden creative depths, you're distracted by noises coming from not too far away. You're not alone. You know what this means? A chance to get yourself more of that sweet, sweet friendship. After so many successful companionship ventures, you're thirsty for more. You pick up your jaw and go investigate. The sound leads you towards a trail along the side of the canyon, which in turn leads you down to a roomy platform not that much lower than where you are started. There's a series of sharp outcroppings jutting out of the plateau, and perched atop the highest one is a figure dramatically framed against the moonlight. At first, you think he's peering moodily into the distance, but then you realize he's looking through some kind of contraption on his face.
Recording coordinates.
You look around. There doesn't seem to be anyone else here. So what you heard was this fellow muttering to himself? You guess?
I see.
He's so wrapped up in whatever it is that he's doing, he hasn't noticed you yet. This guy's got to be hankering after some company. Being all by him lonesome out here in the middle of nowhere, you're sure of it. we're gonna wave. Sporting your most winning smile, you call out a greeting and give a jaunty wave. That gets his attention.
Well, 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 would you look at what the per beast dragged in? Are you lost?
That depends on your definition of lost. You prefer to think of whatever you're doing as, taking the scenic route. Just, like, indefinitely. Your new acquaintance, and hopefully soon-to-be pal, snorts, unimpressed.
It would be better if you did that somewhere else. Better for me, I mean, which is the most important issue currently at hand, let's face it. I still have preparations to make, and I'm running out of time. You're kind of cramping my style here.
Preparations?
For the game, obviously. It's starting any minute now.
You have no idea what the hell he's talking about.
Seriously? You don't know about dual strifers? Wow, you're even more of an empty-headed plebe than I thought.
Well, that's not a very fair thing to say. Sure, you might have a habit of running headfirst into stupidly dangerous situations, but there's no reason for him to assume. Your voice is drowned out by a crackling sound. He is levitating down from his perch towards you, sparks of energy stirring the sand up into a cloud. After meeting Karava and Kapram, you've come to expect psionic powers from trolls with yellow blood, but still kinda takes you aback. You stumble backwards, falling on your ass. The troll is unbothered by your spill, continuing to address you while you're sprawled out on the ground.
I'll explain. Dual Strifers pits Alternia's best and brightest against each other in a timed event designed to reveal the most skilled among the group. Which would be me, of course, that goes without saying.
He tells you a bunch of other stuff about game mechanics that, to be honest, goes right over your head. He's apparently not in enough of a rush that he can't stop what he's doing to outline his plans to you, some random passerby, in a fairly detailed manner at that. He seems pleased to have an audience, actually. Wow, this friendship is barely even off the ground, and you're already doing great. You get back on your feet and nod along, pretending to understand all his rambling about strategy and, whatnot. Then you notice a blinking light. It's coming from the screen over his eye.
Huh. Interesting. My scouter can't retrieve any data on your species at all.
He leans forward and looks at you. Really looks at you. Up until this point, he'd been paying more attention to his own voice and whatever readings he's been getting on his device, but now he's focused fully on you. It's starting to fluster you a little, actually. That is, until his mouth twists into a smirk. You get a glimpse of a single jagged tooth.
You know, it's technically possible to join in teams too. But now you're here.
Is he saying what you think he might be saying? Excitedly, you clarify whether he's asking you to join the game as his partner.
Ha. Sure, I just love teaming up with the clueless nerds like you. No. You'd be a nice element of surprise, though. I could use you as a collateral resource, fodder, a lackey. What do you say?
That doesn't sound nearly as flattering. But it's an opportunity to help, and you found so many great friendships on doing whatever favors random strangers have wanted you to do for them already. Why should we stop now? We shall be the best lackey ever! The title might not be much, but that doesn't mean you can't excel at it. You tell him you accept his offer.
Excellent. By the way, I'm Daja Nelix. But you must have known that already.
You're not sure why you would. Maybe he's some kind of big shot? Come to think of it, the name does ring a bell. You have heard it before. When you were in the middle of infiltrating a bandit hideout with a mercenary. Conyal.
You met my mate, Sprit. You must have gotten on a good side or you wouldn't be here standing, talking to me. Because you'd be minced into the ground finer than grub paste.
He's grinning like he's really proud and fond about her, being the sort of girl who'd make mincemeat out of someone as soon as speak to them. If he wasn't talking about her literally murdering you, you might find this reaction endearing. Hang on. If he already has a partner, why is she not here? His expression sours abruptly.
My partner isn't here because she didn't make our agreed-upon rendezvous time.
He says the word partner in an overdone, exasperated huff, as if he thinks she might be listening from behind a boulder somewhere, and he could somehow shame her into appearing. You remember what Polypia said about mercenary duos often being quadranted pairs, i.e. romantically involved. Did his girlfriend stand him up? Yikes. Maybe it's better you haven't been promoted to partner status, if it meant getting involved in another couple's spat. You've had quite enough of that already. You hope they aren't fighting. He glares at you.
The exact nature of our quadrant is none of your business, frankly. Now, come on. We're wasting time.
He steps off the edge of the plateau, descending in a crackle of energy and floating you into the canyon along with him. It's a terrifying ride, but the view it affords is pretty amazing. Soon you reach the bottom.
We should keep going. There's someone else in this valley. We'll get the drop on them if we move fast.
He grins confidently, his coat flapping behind him. There isn't any wind down here, though. Is he flapping his own coat with a sigh for dramatic effect?
First blood to Nelix.
You blink. Tentatively, you repeat, blood?
Yes, blood.
He says it the same way he enunciated the name of this competition earlier, like it should have been painfully obvious.
Like I told you, our aim is to take out our opposition. Swiftly and painfully. To win, we have to be the last team standing in this entire canyon. Weren't you listening when I explained earlier?
God damn it. You'd been proceeding under the assumption that this was some kind of elaborate competitive LARP. Like, solve puzzles, get out of the Great Giant Canyon before the other guy type of deal. Perhaps arm wrestle your competitors into submission if you run into them, but shit. No, this game involves actual violence. You probably shouldn't be surprised. You've been on Alternia long enough now to discern that, boy, do these trolls sure love killing. You've made friends with plenty of trolls who have less bloodthirsty hobbies, though. You ask him whether he's ever considered getting into excessive bodily force poetry or streaming sick beats.
Please, you're kidding, right? Now is no time for joking around. Don't tell me you're already getting frosty strut buds. I can't work with someone with such a flimsy sense of conviction.
You reassure him that, no, of course not. Your strut pods are as toasty as all heck. But he's no longer paying attention to you. His scouter glints.
There.
He flashes past you before you can blink, riding the waves of his sigh to a collection of rocks sitting behind you.
Target acquired. Nice try, thinking you could outsmart me by laying in wait and launching an ambush. Cowardly move, and sloppy. Very sloppy. Now, prepare to get owned. Resistance is futile. Oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck!
Abruptly, he freezes. You hesitate, unsure as to what sort of threat you're dealing with here. But then a troll girl with cerulean blue symbol on her shirt pops up from behind the rocks. She giggles menacingly, making him turn towards you. His expression's blank. His nifty brain powers now under your competitor's control. To echo his sentiment, oh, fuck. You need to do something, fast. You have the harebrained thought that maybe you can grab him and physically wrest him from under her control. You launch yourself towards them in a mad dash, attempting to call out a chilling battle cry, but it comes out as more of a pathetically broken yell. The girl laughs again. His eyes flash bright, brighter than you seem so far, almost blinding. Oh, hell, those are straight up eye lasers, aren't they? They are really powerful. Oh, holy shit. You've met some strong trolls. But this kind of power is something else. If he were a character in a video game and you were to assign him a quantifiable number to measure his power, some kind of level, perhaps, that number would be, well, it would be very high. That's all you're saying. His lasers shoot at a point above you, scoring a deep gash in the rock and sending rubble toppling downwards. You reach out, grabbing at his coat. You have to get the hell out of here. The girl doesn't stop you, merely leaping out of the way of the Cern Doom that's hurtling rapidly towards you. You think you see something out of the corner of your eye. A last-ditch hope at not getting squashed as flat as a grub cake. You race towards it. Your first thought when you open your eyes is that death has finally come to tenderly cradle you in its sweet, loving embrace. But you quickly realize that you're in a cave, not the afterlife, and that the reason you can even see anything is because the area around you is brightened by a light coming from Az's scouter. Through sheer dumb luck, you must have run towards the single safe spot in the entire ravine. This hole in the ground. It's as if this hole was sitting here, carved out of the rock, waiting to be your escape route. You might even say this hole was made for you.
Fuck.
You wince, covering your ears. Could he keep it down, maybe? Your nerves are a little shot from almost dying for the umpteenth time this week.
No, I will not keep it down. Curses, I can't believe this. Who does that blue blood think she is? Does she realize who she just messed with?
Wow. He looks, really mad. Instinctively, you reach out to execute that slow face pat trolls seem to find so soothing. And then he slaps our hand away.
What do you think you're doing?
Oh, God damn it. Un momento. I was not expecting that to happen. Okay, I don't have a controls menu. Wait. There we
I
are.
already told you, I have a Moirail.
You stammer out an apology. It just seemed like, the right thing to do. Plus, you thought Connell was, his mate spirit. He seems to realize what he just said. A hint of yellow touches his cheeks, just barely visible in the light.
That's what I said. I already have a mate spirit.
You're pretty sure you heard him right the first time. And you're also pretty sure those are two different sorts of relationships. But, you know, we're just gonna let this drop. There's no need to rile up your new friend more than he already is. Your shush pap might have been rejected, but the attempt seems to snap him out of whatever pissed off funk he's gotten himself into.
Let's get out of here.
He follows the path of the cave. You know, can't he just blast us out of here?
Don't be stupid. If I did that, I would cause a cave-in. Are you that eager to get crushed?
Well, I guess that's a good point.
You're acting just like Connell. So ready to rush in without a game plan.
If he means this as an insult, its effect is kind of lost. He sounds more wistful than irritated. You walk in silence for a while. As you make your way further into the cave, you realize that the walls aren't blank like you previously thought, but covered in, complicated carvings? Cave troll art? You wonder?
I know what you're thinking. That life as a prince among trolls must be an enviable one.
You snap to attention. Yes, of course. I was definitely thinking about him and his life story just now.
I don't expect someone like you to understand. You're obviously a completely average person who will live out their life in perfect mediocrity. But not me. You don't know what it's like to be born so gifted.
Yep. Completely average. That's you alright. Try our best to be sympathetic. Having rat powers must make things really hard.
What? No way, it's fucking awesome. But, as you've clearly seen, it can attract unwanted attention from pathetic individuals who aren't nearly as talented themselves. Who are desperate to have some unbeatable psionics in their corner. To be honest, the Empire is no different, and it's not like the rebels are much better. Conneal and I don't really care one way or another. We're just here to off chumps and get money. We look after ourselves first and foremost. But eventually we'll be sent off planet to do the bidding of the Empress, just like everyone else.
Okay. You can kind of see why having no say in the matter kind of sucks. But isn't there opportunity to do stuff in space, too? His face draws up in a wry expression.
Yeah, with someone else calling all the shots.
You keep walking. After what feels like hours, his scouter flashes again.
We're here.
He lets the wall have it with his eye lasers. With a resounding roar, it crumbles away. Aside from the spot he destroyed, the rest of the cave is intact. Moonlight spills into the space through the impromptu exit.
It's over. We were stuck down there for so long that the game has ended. Meaning...
Your heart sinks. This was a disaster. He's definitely not going to want to be your friend after losing this competition he was so invested in.
We're the last team standing, which makes us the winners. Heh. I knew it. That blue blood loser might have had a stroke of good luck, but she was no match for someone of my station. My victory was a foregone conclusion from the start. Bringing you along was an excellent idea. Your recklessness really came in handy back there.
He's thanking you, you realize, or, well, something close to it. Modestly, you assure him it was no problem.
A prince knows when to give credit where credit is due. Celebration is in order, I think. Once we collect our prize.
Wait, there's a prize?
Fuck yes. Dual Strifers offers an impressive amount of cash to whoever wins. You'll get a cut of as well, of course.
Well, money? Money? This is the first time you'll have had your hands on money since you've crashed here. Maybe you'll finally be able to purchase a nice warm meal. Or clothing that's not from someone else's closet. More important than the money, though, is you've proven that you aren't a complete fuck-up. You've earned Az's trust and his friendship. Victory! All right, well, that concludes it for this very, very brief friend sim run. And thanks to my friend over here for providing his voice. So, yeah. Like to say thank you all for coming out to watch this, and obviously thank our lovely guest here for helping. We will be back tomorrow with RPGs.
Send help, please.
Now quiet you. But yeah, see you around, folks. Have a good one.